Hello, sweet friends. This is Gina, and welcome to stellarjstudios. I've done a couple of things, and so I thought I would pop in and show you. We had Thanksgiving, and I wanted to document that because that is one of our favorite holidays, and we do actually get together with extended family during this time. I thought it would be fun to mirror our Thanksgiving that we had with Thanksgiving back in the 70s and 80s. And the reason why I think this is fun is because I am drawn to the 70s and 80s, especially the food, the decor, the fashion, but the food photos. So like in old cookbooks, I love to look at the old pictures of how food was presented back then. Jello molds and salads and all kinds of weird casseroles and things like that. Plus just some of the presentation of how they displayed things back then. I just like, it just looks so good. So I really love those images. I really love the, now this is going to kind of be an oxymoron here because I really love the processed food movement that happened in the 60s and 70s. And I'm not, and 80s. And I'm not necessarily talking about the processed food itself, but just the ease of cooking during that time. During that time period, and I can remember my aunts, my mom, and my grandma, everything was supposed to be convenient. Everything was supposed to be ready-made and, easy to throw together for a busy lifestyle. And so things like, I remember our first microwave. I remember our first Fry Daddy. I remember, mac and cheese in a box and just things that those things were special to me back then because processed food was kind of new. And so we would think that it was really a treat to get a boxed macaroni and cheese set. I know that sounds very weird, but we would go to the store and we would beg our mom to get the boxed macaroni and cheese because we would see the commercials for it and it just looks so good and creamy. And the irony is it wasn't good and creamy. My grandmother's homemade mac and cheese was good and creamy, but it was the time period and it was how the commercials would sell things. So I wanted to, I love that time period, and I wanted to kind of play off of that with my journal and how I was presenting Thanksgiving. So I thought what I would do is I would take what we made for Thanksgiving and I would go and find ads, coupons, articles, like that. Oh my gosh, we had that. I know we had that. And I always wanted the Jolly Time popcorn. I always wanted the one that popped in the aluminum foil pan. And oh my gosh, Knox blocks, that the Jello and that you could pick up with your fingers. And I know they call them jigglers now, but back then, oh, there's our popcorn popper. That's the one we had. Back then it was Knox blocks and it was just like the coolest thing in the world. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to go through here and I wanted to find all kinds of things that represented the new and improved stuff back in the 70s and 80s. So this was like 1979. I think this one was 80 and I think this one was 80. And I wanted to represent what we had with pictures of those things or something similar to it back in the 70s or 80s, if that makes any sense. So I hope it makes sense. So here we go. So I started off with, in my journal, this was a book page, and it was these two little girls, and one was giving a bear to the other one, or it looked like one was giving the bear to the other one. So I found, stovetop stovetop stuffing just popped into my head. Like that was one of the number one things. Again, that was a treat when we got to have stovetop stuffing. So I wouldn't serve that now. Like I've outgrown that. It's perfectly fine, but it doesn't taste as good to me as it did back when I was, 6 years old. But so I found an image of that and I cut it out and I just thought, okay, this is so cool. Like we're coming to a get together and somebody's going to bring me a box of stovetop stuffing mix. Over here, I listed who brought what to the party or who cooked what. I found a picture of a canned ham. And I found a picture of boxed macaroni and cheese. And it was a boxed macaroni and cheese dinner. This wasn't even Kraft. This was a different brand. So I added a bunch of fold outs in this first part. And I just taped them in. And what they were little recipe cards. So I had this type of a recipe card. And so I just taped it in with some washi tape, but I realized I wasn't going to have enough room. So I had another card. This was a come to a kitchen shower. And what I did was then I taped it onto here. So this folded and then this folded and then this folded. And then inside, I actually taped the grocery list from when my husband went to the store this year and bought all this stuff. So there's the first part. This was a picture from a little golden book. And here were the people who came to our party. Here was our grocery list. And then I flip it over and I found in one of those magazines a gravy. It was supposed to be a gravy enhancer. It wasn't like a bouillon cube or anything like that. It was just this blackish brown substance that you poured into liquid to make your gravy. I found instant potatoes. Oh my gosh, can you imagine? That would have just made your life easy in the 70s to throw in a box of instant potatoes. And my mom made mashed potatoes at least twice a week, but I don't think she ever got us the instant ones. I love this. So the lean strips bacon, but it's not bacon. It's bacon flavored and it's textured protein strips. And I think it was wheat, eggs, and soybean was what this was made out of. And I clipped out the little, the comments that went with the ad. It tastes every bit like bacon. I definitely would recommend it. It's terrific. Okay, well, there you go. We did not have fake bacon at our Thanksgiving this year, but I do remember eating sizzling, and I loved sizzling. I do think sizzling was made with a meat product, but it wasn't like this is totally meatless, but I do remember eating sizzling. Oh my gosh, and the maple bacon flavored one. Oh, I love that sizzling. Margarine, because we used butter, Karo syrup, and canned yams instead of, what we had was sweet potatoes. Now we always have this corn casserole that my husband makes, and we got it out of a magazine probably 20 years ago, and I couldn't find it, but I did find 2 casseroles that of course uses canned soups. And we don't use canned soups, but I will say I did. And not that there's anything wrong with this. It's just this is not what we use. But I remember when this was I remember my aunt bringing this, a casserole to a Thanksgiving dinner. And oh my gosh, it was the first time she had used these soups in the casserole. And it was amazing and everybody loved it. So green bean casserole, I've made it a couple of times for my husband, and I'd never had it before. And when I made it, I thought it was the grossest thing I'd ever tasted in my life. And so we do not have a green bean casserole. But you know what? Everybody's got a green bean casserole story. So I thought I would go ahead and put that in a Jell-O mold. Oh my gosh. And this was a cranberry Jell-O mold We did not have that at this Thanksgiving. I make my own cranberry sauce, and I use fresh cranberries, and it is my favorite thing that I make every year. But I love this. I mean, look at that. And the recipe for this even called for a can of cranberry jelly. And I can remember at a Thanksgiving where my aunt would just take the lid off of the canned cranberry and dump it on a plate. And that was it. She didn't even smash it up or anything. She just dumped it on a plate. And so, yeah, that's just, again, it was one of those things that we just thought was really awesome. Cool Whip and canned pumpkin and pie filling, apple and cherry, and homemade or ready-made pie crusts. And the reason why this is kind of ironic is because my mom, my grandma, all of my aunts were wonderful bakers, but my mom and my grandma definitely. And my mom is a pie wizard, and she can make them very quickly, and they are all homemade and they are wonderful. And I could call her and say, Mama, I'll be over in a half hour, and she would whip up an apple pie and it would be coming out of the oven, right after I get there, and it's amazing. So I just put these on there because nope, we don't use those. My mom makes fresh apple pie, and all of her pies are fresh, and they're amazing. So then my flip out, I go this way. So one of the things that we still do have from the 1980s, and I can remember the first time I had this, indoor s'mores made with golden grahams. So it was marshmallows, golden grahams, Karo syrup, and chocolate chips. So my mom still makes these. And my kids love these. So anytime she comes over to our house, she brings, she individually wraps each one of them a batch of these for them to take. And I just, thought that needs to be documented because we still have these indoor s'mores. Coffee is a big deal, and I love coffee, but I remember in the 70s, or I'm sorry, in the 80s, watching the Sanka commercials or the Taster's Choice commercials. And I remember there was one instant coffee that had crystals. And I was a little kid. I didn't drink coffee at that time, but I just kept thinking, oh man, those crystals look magical. I want to have coffee that has crystals in it. So I found that, and I thought that was kind of cool. My mom also makes all kinds of wonderful cookies and cookie bars and brownie type things. And so I just pulled these out of an old cookbook. I just thought they were just so pretty in that old 1960s photographs that they took in recipe books and things. Like, these images are just, you can't recreate this. There's just something so nostalgic and so beautiful about these images in cookbooks back then. And so while I don't know that the things are very appetizing to me, because there were some really weird things back then that they cooked, especially with like jellos and salads and stuff. I just think like this is art. This is beautiful. And I love to try to bring these pictures, these images into my journaling whenever I can, just because they are so cool and so odd. There was a lot of weird things done with meat at that time too. Okay, so I found these little pictures and threw those in. And then my very favorite thing was I found in one of the magazines some suggestions for turkey leftovers. Now, I thought I had seen some really gross stuff, but this by far is the grossest. It is an egg-topped molded turkey salad. So you've got hard-boiled eggs and shredded turkey and I don't know what else, and it's in a gelatin mold, and ew. But I thought, let's just put that in there because why the heck not? That's just so cool. So there was my little tongue-in-cheek Thanksgiving, and it just folds up like this. I also I just found a little scrap of paper and I wrote down every year I make sweet potatoes. I'm the only one that eats them, but every year I do a different recipe. And this year I didn't follow a recipe. I just made my own thing, and it actually was the best sweet potato recipe I've ever done. And yeah, so I wrote it down. We'll see if I remember it for next year. So that was Thanksgiving. Then I went on to this page. This was a Christmas card from a while ago, and I've held on to it because I thought it was really cute. Turned it into a pocket. So we had a surprise snow. Not really a surprise. If you'd been watching the weather, they'd been telling us about it. But my daughter texts me and she's like, it's a blizzard and I've been stuck and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, why are you even out? Like, what are you doing? And she's like, well, because I went to go have coffee with a friend. And I just text her back, there's a reason why we have the Weather Channel, people, because she's talking about how all these people are sliding off the road. And I was just like, yeah, it's not a surprise. There's a reason why we have the Weather Channel. So I thought that was kind of cute. Put that on there. This is just a little card. I put down some wallpaper and covered up this side. So when this little snowstorm happened, and it was just a dusting of snow and it was gone by the very next day. But I have a brand new puppy and I have a brand new kitty. And so this is what they did. I was wondering, are they going to go out in the snow? What are they going to do? So they did go out, and my dog just got on top of, we have a big table out here, and it's like an old farm table. We made it out of wood pallets. And so he jumped up on there and was so excited, and he was just licking and eating all of the snow that was on the table. And so the cat was underneath the table, just licking his paws and sniffing the snow. And so I just thought that was kind of cute because he thought this was the best thing in the whole wide world. And he's barking and yipping and running around. Cat's not paying any attention to him. And in the background, I've got my birds at my bird feeder, and they're just sitting there watching him like, what a weirdo. Like, that dog is just a weirdo. See this little piece of thread here? I was cleaning up my desk. This was a wad of thread I had left over from a sewing project. Tried to throw it in the trash 2 times. Both times it missed the trash bag and ended up on my floor. After I picked it up and put it back in the trash bag once, the second time I was like, okay, this thing is destined to be put in my journal. So I glued it on here and then sewed a button. And then that's all I've done in here. I appreciate you hanging out with me and listening to my crazy stories, and I hope you got a lot of inspiration. I hope you're healthy, I hope you're happy, and I hope you do something creative today. Bye!